How's it going, Toons of the World? It is your pal Mega Snoop bringing you another Toontastic video. And in today's video, I wanted to give you a brief overview of the CJ battle. Now this is a video I've been meaning to bring for a long time, and you know what? Here it is. So I hope you all enjoy, and let's get to it. Now the first thing you're going to need for a CJ battle is your Lawbot suit disguise. Now how do you get the Lawbot suit disguise? You're going to have to complete the tasks given to you by Professor Flake, and these tasks are only available after completing all the other tasks in the game, which means you won't be able to have these tasks until you reach at least 100 laugh. Now these tasks consist of getting a thermometer off of a cog from each street in all the neighborhoods minus the streets in the burg. So what we'll have you do first is go to Silly Street, defeat some cogs until you get a thermometer, come back, get a suit part. Go to Loopy Lane, defeat some cogs till you get a thermometer, come back, get a suit part. For each street in every playground minus the burg. After you've gotten your suit disguise, you're going to need jury notices. Now jury notices are just the merits or the stock options of the Lawbot suit. And the same rule applies. It's 1/2 the cog level for jury notices. So you defeat a Spin Doctor level 10, you get 5 jury notices. Now the most efficient place to get jury notices are the DA offices in Lawbot HQ. Inside the DA offices, there's originally a ×2 multiplier on jury notices, but after an update from Toontown Rewritten, it's given us an additional 1.67 times more jury notices. Why not ×2, like all the others? Well, I actually talked to a developer about this, and it comes down to the fact that whoever typed the original code didn't type it correctly. So maybe in the future it will be an additional ×2, giving us those quad notices that all the other factories and mints gave us anyway. So once you got your suit and your jury notices, you're ready to battle the CJ. Now obviously, 8 toons can enter this battle just like with all the other bosses. And at the very beginning of the battle, they're split into 2 groups, 4 on each side. This is the cog round. Now during this cog round, there's about 40 cogs to be divided between the 2 sides, which means each side will defeat about 20 or so cogs. All of these cogs will range between levels 8 through 12. Now the main strategy for this battle is obviously sound. And because there's a lot less cogs here than, say, the CFO, there is a good chance you will actually run out of cogs before you run out of sound. If anything, you'll have just enough sound to defeat them all. So up to this point, it's all pretty standard, but on the next round, the cannon round, things get a little bit different. Now the main objective of the cannon round is to try to get as many toons on the jury as you can. You do this by firing the toons out of a cannon and trying to make them land on the seats. Now there's actually a little strategy to this, and it is called the 22-second rule. And the reason for this is once you fire a toon and it lands on a chair, a cog will fly in and try to take that chair back. Why we wait under 22 seconds is so that once you fire a toon and it lands in the chair, there isn't enough time for a cog to come in and take it, because it takes the cogs about 20 seconds to fly in and completely take a chair back. So for the sake of me, you, and your entire CJ group, do not fire before 22 seconds. However, at the very beginning of the round, you can take some practice shots just to get your aim on point, but you should stop taking your practice shots at about 45 seconds. Since, again, you don't want to have a toon on a chair, and while everyone else is firing at 22, that toon is still on the chair and a cog can fly in and take it, catching you all off guard. Whether you do well on the cannon game or not, we're moving on to the scale round next. And if you're new to this, you might just want to do what I say right here. We're gonna play Delete Spam Simulator. What you gotta do is you gotta run up to the stand in which the defendant is sitting, and you gotta touch it and you will get evidence. Then you need to run over to the scale and continuously throw evidence into the toon side of the scale, the one that's closest to you. Then you basically spam delete until all your evidence runs out. Run back, grab more evidence, come back, and do it again. And you do this until the scale goes all the way down and the toons win. All the while you're doing this, the cogs on the side are throwing evidence into their side, trying to make their side go down more. Let's say none of the toons do anything and the cogs prevail and bring their side all the way to the bottom. Well then all the toons in the area will go sad and be sent back to the playground. And that toon will probably go back to prison for a very long time. Fun fact though is if you go sad in this way, then you will not lose your gags. However, you will also not get a promotion in the CJ and you must do it again. Now quickly, I want to talk about the weight of your evidence. Now depending on certain circumstances, throwing the evidence into the scale might make the scale go down more. And there's a few different ways that affect this. The first one is the amount of toons on the jury. The more toons you get on the jury, the heavier your weight will be. which means the more the scale will go down when you throw the evidence into it. Also, the average suit level of everybody going into the battle. So if a majority of the people in the battle are legal eagles and bigwigs, your evidence will be heavier. But if everybody's a bottom feeder, then it will not be as heavy. Also note that if the average suit is higher, such as legal eagles and bigwigs, then you will be able to carry less evidence because it's heavier. And also, there may be more gavels and cogs in this battle, which means there will be more cogs on the other side to be throwing evidence into their side of the pan. I also want to go over the different attacks and different ways you can be hurt during the CJ battle. One of the most important ones is when the CJ jumps. This is actually very easy to dodge, but you need to have your sound on. It is very important to have your sound effects on during this point in the battle. Before the CJ jumps, you will hear him let out a siren. So whether you're looking at him or not, you can hear when he's about to jump. He will let out a siren, and then you will hear the jumping noise, and that is when you jump. That way you can avoid losing 10 health. There are also the gavels. If you just touch the gavel, it'll do -2 to you, but if the head of the gavel actually falls and hits you, it will do -20. So be careful where you're running and watch out for these gavels. And lastly, the lawyers, or the cogs, standing on the side, not only throw evidence into their pan, but they also throw evidence at you. And if you get hit by this evidence, you will lose 5 lat. Now this is typically what most people get hit by, and it is very important to learn how to dodge this. What you have to do is position yourself where you're throwing evidence into your side of the pan, but you're still able to see at least one of the lawyers. All the lawyers will always throw at the same time, whether they throw into the pan or at the tunes. And what you're going to have to learn to do is know that when they throw it, wait about 1.5 seconds and then jump to dodge them throwing it at your feet. So whether you see it or coming, it is nice to just jump, that way you're not getting hit. Trust me, if you can learn to do this, you may be coming out of the CJ battle with 100 laugh next time instead of 10. Okay, now I'm going to finally go over something that I know a lot of people have wanted to know about, and that is stunning. Stunning is not something that a lot of people can do well, and that's why I'm here trying to help those of you out who may want to get better at it. Now I'll admit I'm not the best stunner in the world, but at least giving these tips might help you to become better yourself. Now in a traditional CJ battle, when there are 8 cogs, it is recommended to have 2 stunners. Now the best way to do this is to make sure you're lining up, standing right next to the cogs, making sure that the cogs are on your right, since all tunes are right-handed and that's where you throw your evidence from. At this point, you will hold forward and spam the delete button. That way, as you're running down the line, you will continuously hit each of the cogs along the way. Now, as much as you want to hit left and right, be careful. If you're already holding delete and you hit left or right, it will stop that evidence that you were charging up and you must click it again. And the best thing you can do is work with your partner. Watch them at the end of the line and try to coordinate when they go, you go at the same time, because you want all the cogs to be stunned at the same time. This has a couple advantages. One, it gives everybody a tune-up. It gives everybody +10, keeps them alive for a little bit longer. And 2, it gives you double bonus weight for the scale. So let's say you do stun all the cogs. Once this happens, as a stunner, immediately go to the scale. Take advantage of the bonus weight as much as you can by taking whatever evidence you have left and throwing it into the scale. The reason you do this is because once all the cogs are stunned, you cannot earn bonus weight again and a tune-up for about 30 to 40 seconds after that. So this keeps you from spamming them over and over again just to get an easy tune-up. So because it's pointless to stun the cogs during that time, you might as well go take advantage of the bonus weight. Once you run out of evidence or 30 or 40 seconds goes by, restock your evidence and head back getting ready to stun again. One more thing I want to go over just real quick is how to get laugh back. Like I just mentioned, if all the lawyers are stunned, everybody gets a 10 tune-up, which is always nice. Throwing the evidence at your fellow tunes will also give them a tune-up. Depending on how much weight the evidence has, you may get a higher tune-up. Traditionally, it's just +1. Once you get up there with higher suits, you could be doing +2 or +3 as a tune-up instead of +1 each evidence you throw. And then of course, there's always Unite. Unites are probably the most popular because everyone is usually gathered around the scale anyway, and using one will usually get about everybody. Let's say you get the scale all the way down and the tunes are victorious, and you keep this tune out of prison. Then you are rewarded with a promotion to your Sellbot suit, and a cog summon. Now a lot of people think this is a pretty lame reward, and you know, it is. But there's some pretty cool things you can do with it. You can summon a cog, which is cool, I guess. You can summon a building, which is, you know, kind of cool. And then you can also summon an invasion, depending on which reward you get. And invasions are nice if you do have a second toon and you're trying to train him. You can easily just summon an invasion into a quiet district, quickly switch over to your other toon, and there you got some free training to do. But note this about the rewards. They are completely random. So it means once you come out of the CJ, you could literally get anything. You could get summon a bottom feeder, or you could get summon a Hollywood invasion. You never know. However, if you have higher suits in your CJ, you have a better chance of getting a higher cog. And also note, if you've done quite a few CJs, you can never get a duplicate reward. So if you already have summon a bottom feeder and summon a bottom feeder building, and everybody in your group just earned summon a bottom feeder, because you already have it, it defaults to building. And if you already have building as well, it defaults to invasion. So just by holding on to some of these summon cogs and summon buildings, it gives you a better chance of earning summon invasions. And let's say you have it all filled. Let's say you have summon a cog, summon a building, and summon an invasion for a bottom feeder, and your whole group just earned summon a bottom feeder. Well then, the random number generator rolls it again and gives you a brand new reward, usually about the same rarity. So hopefully that answers all your questions about the CJ. If you have any more questions, or if I left anything out, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below. It's always helpful to see those. I really hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Mega Snoop, and I will see you guys next time. Hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to smash that like button. It helps me know that my work is appreciated. Leave a comment and subscribe if you're new. You can check out my live stream at twitch.tv/Megasnoop. Follow me on Twitter at MegasnoopTTR, and I hope y'all have a toontastic day.